This is epic. Trump health crashes, and it is not something new. It happened back in the year of 2019. Donald Trump's declining health and cognitive abilities can be connected to recent revelations from Jeffrey Epstein's files. That's what at least Midas Touch they believe. All of these things are getting much worse for Donald Trump with Jeffrey Epstein files getting released, and he is getting exposed every day. So he's having some kind of cognitive impact on him because of these recent developments. Now, Steve Bannon, a close advisor to Trump, considered or conspired, should I say, with Jeffrey Epstein in 2019 to invoke the 25th Amendment against Trump. So what is 25th Amendment? It is basically replacing the president with the vice president, aiming to replace Mike Pence that time with Mike Pompeo as vice president and then make Pompeo the president. Can you believe this? Like, they were so worried about his health. Steve Bannon and Epstein, they had to conspire. They had to come together to remove Donald Trump. The reason cited was concerns about Trump's mental state and alleged dementia. Newsmax, I will play the clip in a second, also reported on Bannon's alleged involvement. Erratic behavior from Trump, such as his comments about if you do not remember, he made a comment about the Potomac River smelling like poop, quote unquote, and blaming Maryland for it. And a noticeable discoloration on his hand. We have seen how his hand is discoloring, the upper part of his hand. All are indicative of Trump losing it with his mental health, guys. This is unbelievable. Trump making unusual comments about Nicki Minaj during a speech was another big red flag about his mental state. Now, despite Bannon's alleged plot, as we know, Trump reportedly praised Bannon and even had criminal charges against him dismissed. The question is, why would he do that when Bannon, he actually went against Donald Trump to remove him or replace him from office and have somebody else installed there? Why would Donald Trump still go ahead and praise Steve Bannon? Well, it is because Trump had feared that Bannon had at the time damaging information which could be perceived as weakness. Damaging information about Trump that Steve Bannon could share with foreign country leaders, head of state like Xi Jinping or even Vladimir Putin, and it would be perceived as weakness by foreign leaders, Xi Jinping, Putin, and also North Korean leader. Take a listen at this one.
Then they told us all throughout the next 4 years that our tech was secure, and it was the most secure election ever, after bragging about meeting with the people who Jeffrey Epstein and Steve Bannon claimed could hack our elections. Their words, not mine. Make it make sense. But why was Bannon or any other officials in any other role meeting with people who, according to these emails, were doing or trying to do or possess the power to do all that? Let's look at some of the other stuff from these files too that even goes crazier than this stuff. With Bannon, why was he talking about replacing Trump, swapping Pompeo as the VP with Mike Pence, and then using the 25th Amendment to make Pompeo the president? These are text messages with what is assumed to be Epstein, confirmed to be with Bannon. Quote, I like the idea of Pence stepping down in favor of Pompeo, so when it happens, he becomes president. That's from allegedly Epstein. And I'm thinking, it? What do you mean by it? Bannon responding, that is his name, has this been shopped? Epstein replies, Rudy did lay out impeachment, Pelosi vote, and don't go after Ivanka. Bannon says, great. Great. Impeaching Trump? Well, I mean, we now know Pompeo was not a product of MAGA doctrine and was heavily critical of Trump once he left his first term, showing his true colors, and Bannon wanted him to become president? Am I reading that? There's a possibility that Bannon did nothing wrong and these are being misinterpreted. There's a possibility, giving him the benefit of the doubt here, considering he was, like, I defended this guy. I thought he was good for the administration initially. But there's some splaining to do about beyond talking about a documentary to revitalize Jeffrey Epstein's image.
And saying that Mike Tyson loves him. Here, play this clip.
You talk about a piece of work, but he could fight, couldn't he? Huh? Mike Tyson, boy, I tell you, Mike has been loyal to me. Whenever they come out, they say, Trump's a racist. You know, it's like a statement. Trump's a racist. Mike Tyson goes, he's not a racist. He's my friend. He's been there from the beginning, good times and bad. But Mike Tyson's a great guy, and he was so loyal, always been loyal. And Herschel Walker, speaking about loyal, how good a football player was Herschel? Herschel Walker, now he's ambassador to the Bahamas. I don't know, Bahamas, Bermuda, is he Bahamas, whatever. It's nice, a nice place. You'd like that, Bruce, wouldn't you? Bruce wants it. And a guy that became really, he liked Trump, Jim Brown. He was tough. He'd come in, he was very silent. He was silent but deadly. He'd come in and he'd look at people, and if he didn't like them, he'd just look at me and he got no good. He wanted to rip their heart out. I would say there can't be a greater football player than Jim Brown. By the way, Lawrence Taylor, great friend. The great Lawrence Taylor, the greatest defensive player probably in the history of football. He's a great friend of mine. And but I'm longer off the tee than him. You know why? Because I take the club back further. He takes the club back this far, and he hits it 200 yards. When you can do that, you're strong. He is a great guy, I'll tell you that.
Here's how Governor Wes Moore referred to when Donald Trump keeps talking about the Potomac smelling and there being all this sewage and the scent. Governor Moore's like, this guy's like just deeply unserious. Here, play this clip.
This is not a serious team that we're working with. We're talking about a DC pipe on federal land, right? The area that we're talking about, that has been under federal control for the past century. And so any indication or any insinuation that somehow this is a Maryland issue or a Virginia issue is ridiculous. This is a DC pipe on federal land. The only difference is the reason that I ordered our team to be able to support Washington, D.C. in their effort on the cleanup was, one, I did not want contagion that would impact the people of Maryland. And second, I believe in actually helping our neighbors. And when our neighbors needed help, I instructed our team to assist them and help them. And this is in January, we started this process that for now the past week, there is no overflow that is taking place from that jurisdiction. And now the White House wants to get involved, even though we were doing their job for the past month. And so if the president wants me to ask nicely, here's my nice ask to the president. Mr. President, please do your job.
In regards to Mike Tyson's comments about Donald Trump, of course, he will use black people to get votes in the midterm, to get support. But at the same time, as we know, he's a racist. He will throw them under the bus the very next moment. So he used them and then he throws them under the bus. That's what Donald Trump is.